But yeah, so getting into the meat and potatoes.
That
The
sounds so
Batman.
good right now.
Oh, okay.
Right, because you just had some meat. Did you have potatoes too with it?
No, I just had brisket and pizza and chicken.
But yes, the meat and the potatoes. Batman. The Batman. All right. I want first, obviously a brief little Charlie obviously didn't see it. I saw it Sunday night. Dwayne and Jazz, y'all saw it Friday, I think, or something, right?
The Thursday, we saw the day before, so
Thursday.
Yeah.
Jazz, what was
I
that?
didn't think about it. I was like,
saw it the day before, so Thursday.
Yeah, I had to think about it. Sorry.
No, it's cool. Okay, so really quick, I guess how many batarangs out of 5 would you give Batman?
Ooh,
4. I give it 4.5 batarangs.
I'm about to say, yeah, 4.
Out of 5?
Out of 5. Yeah.
Okay. I would say 5 out of 5. I'm gonna say 5 out of 5.
All right, because he was making. I was like,
I'm about to say, I thought she was about to give it a 2.
It go a hot take.
I give it a 1.
Go with a hot take again.
Gave it a
Gave it a 1.
I give it a 5 out of 5.
All right.
I mean, it's not absolutely perfect, right? Because there were a couple shots that I was like, they could have just refilmed that. But I mean, 5 out of 5. I give it a 5 out of 5. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And such a great film. Such a great film. What would be a word that you would use before we go into our spoiler part? What would be a word that you would use to describe this movie?
Dark. One scene of sunlight in that movie at all.
Was the sun there?
The sun was
you
not
couldn't
there.
tell for that fog. So even if it was, you wouldn't be able to see it. That thing was dark the entire movie.
Dwayne, what about you?
Broody. Because Batman was broody. Even when he wasn't Batman, he was broody.
No, he was straight up evil.
Yeah, bro.
He listens to grunge rock for sure. Okay?
Yes, for sure.
For me, I would give the word I would use would be, I was gonna say, sexy noir.
Sexy noir, yeah. Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Is it because of Zoe?
Yeah, and then like his face at certain moments. In a non-spoiler way, I will say, like, he disappears. I kept forgetting that it was Robert Pattinson.
But that's a good thing, though.
Yeah, I know, that's amazing.
Immersed, like, this man is Batman, basically.
Yeah.
I was like, this man was Twilight. I forgot. Like, I kept forgetting until he would take out. I was like, oh, yeah, that's it. That's it. He's the one that's in this movie.
I would say with this Batman, though, it was kind of like, you know how like Batman has like his like personas, like where it's like, oh, this is the playboy millionaire Bruce Wayne, and then there's dark Batman doing stuff at night. Like this one is just like he's like the same all the way through. Like he's not even trying to put on a persona. It's just like this is
it seems like Bruce Wayne is just like a means for Batman. Does that make sense? Like he's like. Yeah, it's like I'm just doing this just because I want to get more info for Batman. Like,
right.
Because
it seemed like he even. Well, I mean that we're gonna dive in. You know, spoiler.
There we go.
Okay, you have been warned. You have been warned. So we're gonna dive into the spoiler side of the movie if you have not seen it yet, right? Which I know Charlie doesn't mind getting spoiled because he's not really. You may see it sometime. May
not.
How you know?
You may. I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say you're not
gonna stay with my girl, but I don't care. You can spoil
it. So, oh, you didn't watch it yet. So yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, you are about to get spoiled. All right.
Yes. I would leave right now. Come back later.
You know, it'd be dope. You should make something where you edit it so that way when people just coming in late, it's just something on screen that says spoiler, and for what movie we spoiling, then you take it away when we're done spoiling it.
Okay, hold on. I could type that right now. Spoilers.
Oh, well, you ain't got to do all that.
For the Batman. It's easy. Boom and boom.
I don't see nothing.
Wait, hold on. I just added it, and then wait 2 seconds, bro.
I don't see nothing. And I'll probably be a hard manager, bro. I just did it.
Right? He's like, I didn't see anything. I literally just pressed enter, sir.
It wasn't fast enough.
If you have a custom one though, you can have like how those restaurants have when they say like coming back soon or be back soon, where like those signs, because we're spoiling it right now. Then you just come back.
I could do the 30-second video, like, hey, in 30 seconds you're gonna get spoilers, and then just like doom.
Or just so they know, like you coming into a spoiler moment. Like
right.
This is live. Some people come in like in middle of parts. I don't know, but you can go ahead.
Okay. So then so as you were saying, like in regards to him as a person, he even said like he doesn't really care about he didn't really care about himself.
Yeah.
But then it's like that was like kind of like a that was the part that was dumb as a person to say, not saying like as a character, right? Because I feel like people say this, right? But like if you don't have that money, right? Because he was like he doesn't really want to go to the board meeting and stuff. If you ain't got that money, what do you think's gonna happen to this whole situation? This operation is shutting down, bruh.
Exactly.
You ain't got money to fund the things that you're doing.
Well, I think that's what what's his name? Alfred was trying to tell him as well. And Alfred, that's another thing that kind of made me like take it like down a little 0.2 points or whatever, is because like Alfred was barely in this movie. Alfred had about maybe 2 minutes of screen time altogether. Like that was it.
That's true. So, he was and he was addictive. He was like,
I mean, he gave him like that.
He's like, you're not my father. It was like, well, okay.
I was just Alfred. Okay, never mind.
No. I keep on calling him Batman. Bruce Wayne was like a dick to Alfred. I'm like, he's like, well, you're not my father. I'm like, well, he didn't say he was. Like, calm down.
I was like, I know I'm not.
Yeah, he definitely did.
You still got me. So guess what?
Right, and I'm still here.
Right.
Right. So then, okay, talk about like the pros that you had, the things that you really liked about this movie.
Dwayne, you want to go first?
Oh yeah, I'll go first. The pros I have for this movie is the duality of Batman and Bruce Wayne. It was very interesting when he returned he went to the club the first time as Batman, and he was like, "Do you know who I am?" And there was kind of like a twins thing. And then when he went as Bruce Wayne, and he was like, "Do you know who I am?" And everybody knew he was Bruce Wayne. It was just so interesting. That little thing that they did there was super cool to me, and I thought that was a pro, because it was like, Batman is basically two characters, the Batman and then his legend and what he does and what people think he does or what he lives up to be, and then you have Bruce Wayne. So it's very interesting. That was a very cool, interesting way that they did it, and I love the way they conveyed that. So that was a pro for me.
With that, you know, the thought that came to mind the second time you went to the door and the twins, I thought of Sifu. I thought of Sifu, like
the club.
How many times? Yeah, the club level. Like how many times you go there and like you can go there as Batman and do very well, or you can go there as Bruce Wayne and not be as cool. Not be as cool.
Yeah, right.
Jazz, what about you?
Oh, so I liked Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman, because like in this time, it's like they're in a time where they're just starting, like Batman's just starting being Batman and stuff like that. So Catwoman, she didn't really have the full bodysuit with like the ears and everything. So like all she had was like this like makeshift like mask, like cat burglar mask, and just cut it out, which I thought that was like really realistic. When you're starting, you're not gonna have a full souped up suit to go rob some stuff. So like she had like her biker jacket and leather pants and was just gone, and then put on her little mask that kind of had little cat stuff, but it was kind of cool. So I like that. What else? Oh, my favorite scene was the car chase scene, like when he was chasing Penguin, when his first early model of the Batmobile, with the little rocket attached to the back. Oh, in the back,
yeah.
When that scene came on, I was sitting there getting so excited, like just hearing and seeing like the engine and seeing like the wheels like turning and stuff. Like it just looked like that was like a real scene instead of like, you know, like CGI, how they just CGI
right
thing. Like it looked like this was an actual like race scene. Like they're like really going for it. So that kind of like made me excited.
When you guys saw it, did you guys have a loud theater or a quiet theater?
Which mean, like
the crowd?
Was the crowd like?
Oh,
you
our crowd was quiet.
I thought it was quiet.
Vocal. Like what new age are we in where everybody's quiet? It's like frustrating, especially if I'm. I was by myself. No, it's not good. Like when there's a cool moment, people should cheer. It's weird when it's just me.
Like you know how like when we go, like when we dressed up for our costumes to go see like Black Widow and stuff like that.
I thought you meant like just throughout the movie, just loud.
No, certain parts.
No,
what
parts.
the hell?
Like certain parts. Like when we saw like Endgame, like when we saw Endgame, and then everybody got hyped when Captain America picked up Thor's Mjolnir and was swinging it and stuff like that. And everyone's like, oh my god, and stuff like that. Like there isn't really that much of that in the movies now. They're not like as excited.
Yeah.
Oh, she's so adorable.
She's so cute. I don't want to get spec.
I was gonna say,
like people don't get hype anymore. Like sitting there, like when they see, like when they saw the Batmobile, I thought I was hyped because I saw it when he heard it like rev up in the darkness. I was like, oh yeah.
And then you saw the light.
Yeah, it's like that, like flicker and stuff. And I was like, oh, there it is. And everybody else around us is just like.
So quiet. Whatever. I feel like if you can't get hype at the theater, you should not go to see these movies. Okay.
I don't know. Like, I don't know because like it's dark. Like Batman is a dark type of thing. Like, I don't know. And plus it's like that's been years in the making of people speculating with MCU. So like it hit different. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you like know something and you're like, that looked like that was like because remember, it was Age of Ultron, and then we finally got the payoff in Endgame. So people, that moment when Cap picked up his shit, like as far as like Batman, it's like that doesn't look like the Batmobile. It's like, but it's in year 2, so that people are like, you know, that's just a muscle car. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I feel
like even for like different other parts of the movie, like even at the end, right? I'm used to like the crowd at the end, like clapping for a movie if they like the movie, and I literally, it was like this
silence.
And it was just me. I was the only one clapping.
That was you. You were the only one clapping, Christy. Oh man.
Yes, nails out and everything.
I don't know.
And I would glance whenever I would do things. I would glance at the people beside me to see if they were like gonna engage or if they were just like, oh, they stuck me by the black chick. You know, like what was gonna be there? Because our theater is reservation. Like you have to reserve your seats in before you go in. And I'm like, I'm sitting there and like when things are going on, like you hear me, I am as vocal as I am like when I'm doing reacts. Okay. So when stuff was happening, I was like, well, eat my
You would be annoying. Me and Jazz would be the one be like, yo, you hear this chick? Be like, she's annoying as hell. Everything happened. She was over there. Yes.
Like when they were like, I think there was a part where like, like when, you know, when the new commissioner was talking to Batman when they were in that room, and then Batman was like, well, what if it's you? And I was like,
Christy,
like, eating my popcorn. And then I'm like, I'll do like, and I'll look over.
Like, yo, they tell you, yo, shut up. Why are you in the whole movie? Like, shut up.
I'm thinking that Christine talk about like certain iconic things, like
right.
Up, like, and then people getting excited. She's like, nah.
Oh no, he like, did call Batman out like that.
Try to tie. No, but like there was that, and then even like when there was fire moments, like that whole set piece, which I would say the credit that I give to this movie is that even if you saw the trailer, there's still a lot to take for this movie. Yeah. Like that scene is in the trailer, like the end part of that scene, right? But it was still as satisfactory as to see it in the trailer as you saw it in theater. And like I saw it in Dolby Cinema, so like the chairs rumble.
Oh yeah,
in Dolby Cinema. Nice. You feel the rumble of the car. So when that rev was like, and then the light went off, I was like, yes. And nobody was. I was like, do y'all have feelings?
Man,
are y'all alive?
I think it's the movie. I think it's the movie's tone, right? Because like you said, it was dark the whole time. Tonality is key because, like, remember, and I know I keep breaking up MC, what they doing it right now. They're killing it. So remember at the end of Endgame, I mean, Infinity War. It was like a funeral in there. Okay,
it was quiet.
It was quiet. That wasn't a cheering moment. That was
no one cheered. There was a chick in our aisle that was bawling at the end of it, and her boyfriend was like, "It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay." And I was just sitting there like,
"Oh my god!"
Because the movie, the way that ended.
But no, that's I think it's tonality. So like the whole movie's been dark and stuff like that. It's a Batman movie. I think the tonality is like, oh, it's like. We know like certain things going to go down. Like we know this is coming. Like for me, when me and Jazz saw that scene, we was like, when he was walking to the car, we were like, yeah,
we were sitting in our seats like, yes, let's get it.
Camera real quick.
Yeah, that's why I miss seeing it, because I like to what you're saying, like with he had waved to say back. I'll wait till he comes back. Okay, so like I like with Marvel, it was a cheering crowd, right? I like and my husband knows I like a loud crowd. I like and when I mean like appropriately loud, right? Don't be talking about the whole entire. Like enjoy it. Right. Have sounds. This is kind of also a spoiler, I'm gonna say, for, well, I won't spoil it, but Uncharted, right? Because I saw Uncharted in theaters. I don't think you guys saw it, right?
We're gonna be seeing it this week.
Every time we kept trying to see it, we couldn't. So.
Okay, so then I will say this: that there's somebody that I saw in the movie, right? And I was like, woo! And nobody made a sound. I saw it with my mother, right? Because it's just me and my husband with our toddler. We can't see the movie together unless we're taking her, which that's not, she's like loud when you have the bathroom fan on. During a movie, she will terrorize. So that's a no. So we have to like split it up. Like he'll see a movie or I'll see a movie. So when my mom was in town, I saw it with my mom. And I mean, she doesn't know anything about Uncharted, but she's like, I'm just going to sit with you. I like action movies. I like movies. I'll just watch it. And when you saw the person, or you saw the person, I like cheered. And then, like nobody else said anything. And I was like, they don't even know the game. I was like, saying it to my mom.
Don't though.
And my mom was laughing, but I mean, like, okay, there was a cool action. They had a lot of great action set pieces in the film itself. So it's like in the movie, like nobody even cheered when it was like great action. I was like, who are these people? Go back home. So upset.
No, I get it though, because like if there's like a cool action scene or cool fight scene, like
yeah, we can hear you.
All right, cool.
If there's like a cool fight scene, like in the Batman, like when he was like fighting certain people, and it was like the cinematography was cool too, because it looked like it was sitting the camera there, and all you could see is like the lights of the bullets flickering off of Batman as he's getting shot, and you can see him beating him up in between the bullets. Like it was just cool, and like stuff like that. Me and Dwayne be sitting there like,
this is cinema,
right? Like we'd be like, ooh, and stuff like that.
Just
and
the editor in us, and be like, did you see how they just held that shot? Like, it was like,
yeah. And I will say like that stuff, like being, because we are kind of, if you want to like minimize, we are mini filmmakers with editing and stuff like that we do for our videos. So like I'll notice like technicalities, right, of the different things that they do in the execution of the film. And I agree, the cinematography in this film was so good. So good. So good. I kept forgetting that he was Batman. So let's go into acting, right? Robert Pattinson. I had my worries when he was announced because I've seen him in Twilight and Harry Potter, right? And I loved him in Harry Potter. I didn't hate him in Twilight. I hated how they wrote his character, but that's neither here nor there. But like, I was like, how do we go from, I mean, he had a lot of movies, but let me be respectful. He had a lot of movies between Twilight and Batman. But for me, I'm like, okay, last thing I saw you in was Twilight. How do we get from Twilight to Batman? And then in this movie, he was amazing. He did such a great job. Like there was no,
there's no cringe moments at all.
Yeah,
like.
no, there wasn't.
No, not at all.
Even the little slight jokes were funny.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah, there was humor without it trying to be funny on purpose. And I loved that. I love that. I thought that was really cool. And then the villain, going into the villain, right? Which he's not a villain that really gets a lot of shine except for the Jim Carrey one, right? The Riddler.
Yeah.
I love the Riddler. I loved I think there was a scene in the movie, right? Okay, where there was like, I think he was like in a dark web, right? He had like this password protected video, and they finally figured that out. And they was like, he has, I don't know if they said 500 followers is a lot, or did they say a lot or is it a little bit?
Okay, so I do want to ask you, how did you feel? Yeah, they're like, he has a big following. He has 500 followers. How did you guys feel about that?
Like, go ahead, Jess.
Like, wait, follow was on what though? On the dark web?
On the dark web, yeah.
They like banned him off Did they ban him off Twitter?
I think
they
I
banned
don't
him off
know,
some
but
social platform, and then
he was basically on this message board that wasn't a good website, and it was a lot of followers on there. Well, he had 500. It was like, oh, he has a lot, like 500. And like me and Dwayne were just talking about that earlier because people like on Twitter were saying like, oh, well, that's not even a lot. I'm like, let 500 people come in front of you right now, okay? 500 people in front of you with weapons. Tell me that's not a lot.
Yeah,
with the same goal, because that's a lot.
That's a lot, bro.
Okay.
So
that's
love
probably
that.
more than people's graduating class at their school. If you think that that's a lot,
that's true. That's
true. Look at I love that part where they was like, especially if they like mobilized, even if like it's like because they was like when you was looking at it and I didn't catch it. Jazz caught it early, and they was like, well, I thought they was giving him like guns to use because he was definitely on his jigsaw, like the way he was like. He hit in the car.
Oh yeah, I totally see Jigsaw. Yes,
I was like, he on his Jigsaw making traps and stuff. But then it was like 12. Yeah, I was like, so what is it? Oh, and then I was like, and then I saw the other guys, and it wasn't even 500 of them. It was like 12. But like 12 guys with like assault rifles is to me is a mini army. Like, and that just was like scary to think about because like that stuff happens in like real life too, where people become radicalized. And he was even Riddler himself was like, the whole time we've been invisible. And that's like, it's kind of scary because that's eerily permitted to our reality, like where people feel invisible. And like, you have like different, like you have people that have in the incel community or this community and they feel marginalized.
Or January 6th.
Yes, bro. And it's just like, or January 6th where they stormed the Capitol. And it's just like, it's eerily scary, like to think about that. Like if it could be like 500 followers and if they get like radicalized enough to be like, okay, we want to do this, that it's in itself is scary. Riddler had like a cult. They were in his mask. They had his glasses. It was scary as hell. I was like, oh my God.
The thing I loved is how they were emboldened, right? Because it wasn't just a bad guy just to be bad. He felt like he was getting rid of corrupt people. Well, I mean, but he was doing a very extreme thing, right? But then even at the end where he's like basically trying to purge out the corrupt people, and he felt emboldened by Batman, where the guy, when they caught the last guy, right? At the end, and the guy's like, which fire line when they're like, who are you? And he says, I'm vengeance. Fire. I was like, nobody's cheering. I was like, woo! People, nobody. I was wooing, and nobody wooed with me. I was just wooing by myself. Okay, but like, thank you.
Me too.
And then like, thank you, Charlie. And so like. When the guy at the end had quoted that line, right? And then that's when the switch turned on for like Batman didn't have his I need to change things moment until the very end of the movie. I love that. And the fact that you realize that he thought that he had his own soul mission, not realizing that the things he was doing was empowering a darker cell of people to take matters in their own hand. And one other thing I want to say, that I think that this is the first time that for me personally, you grasp the realism of the absurdity of a man in a suit, like a costume, coming into a crime scene. Because the way that the cops were treating him, and when he was walking in, I was like, you know what? This is kind of crazy.
This looks kind of weird. Like this dude is in a whole bat costume,
like a whole suit,
leather suit in here, with a tactical gear down with a cape on in a crime scene right now, and we're letting him do this. Like, I agree.
Yeah, because other times you just accepted it because he was Batman, right? This is the first time where I was like, okay, you know what? Them questioning Commissioner Gordon's, he wasn't commissioner at the time. Detective Gordon's like mindset and sanity, I wholeheartedly understand, because I'm like, I too would be like, why is he bringing this? Who is this crazy man he's bringing into this crime scene?
Right. What's even crazier is that he had to. Well, I just call him Commissioner Gordon. He had to bring him in because he's like, this is the last resort. Like, we're not getting anywhere with this stuff. Like, it's bad out in these streets. So I thought it was perfectly. This just perfectly showed how trash Gotham was. The storylines was all interwoven, but eventually got together, and Riddler as a villain and the realism in it, just fuego, just a great movie.
Super, super great. And then also I love that there was like sentiments between Catwoman and Batman, but they weren't like in love and just like, oh, let's have at it. It wasn't even, it didn't get that that crazy just to force a love story. I feel like it was a very natural, like, sort of, I wouldn't even say true affection. It was just kind of like, there was like a vibe. We could tell that there was like a vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they left it, at the vibe. They didn't force a love story on us. Although I was wholly rooting for a love story between them because I was enamored. I was enamored by them.
Mm-hmm.
So much love. So much love. Mamba Onyx says, yeah, Riddler wasn't really doing a bad thing. It's just the way he was doing it. I agree. Because my thing is with those guys, I don't think that they had to die the way that they died, but they were corrupt, right? They were corrupt. I think that they should have just went to jail, because the only one that actually did do the murdering, was one person, not all of these guys.
But you also have to remember, like, there's a quote that we've seen, me and Dwayne saw, and it was basically saying, like, every villain thinks that they're the hero in their story.
Oh, yeah.
So from the villain's perspective, they're doing what needs to be done to help a certain situation. But to other people, it looks like, oh, you're the bad guy. And he's like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm actually trying to help you.
I'm the hero of the city.
Right.
We have to get this set.
So that's kind of like how like Riddler's whole motive was. Like, I'm actually doing a good thing. I'm getting rid of the corrupt people in the government, and y'all aren't seeing it. And now I just have to do bigger stuff. And so
I didn't like the way he targeted Bruce Wayne. It's like, you have to go down for your father's sin. I'm like,
I didn't get that part. I was like, why?
I was like,
I agree.
It's like the child has nothing to do with what the parent has done. Like, that's
I didn't do anything.
Person, right? You know what I'm saying? So why are you bringing?
And he became an orphan just like him. So it's like he was like.
He said no.
Like,
I'm sorry that
he had like a personal vendetta against him specifically. Like, you're an orphan living in a mansion. I'm an orphan starving as babies die beside me,
Like in that one, I think that he was just hating on Bruce because, like, he, even though he was an orphan just like him, he was an orphan with money, so he was able to live in a big castle with a butler and everything, take care of him. He was like, oh well, why didn't I get that and stuff? So I think that's
it's because your daddy wasn't rich. I'm sorry, boo.
But that's not his fault that he was born with money. I even chose to be born. Like,
you just hit the lottery.
I didn't choose this. Like, this is what I happened to get. So like,
right. And then, like, I wish, like, if it was a situation where Bruce Wayne was like a turd to people, then okay. But since he wasn't, leave the man be. Yeah. So, there was the sense of a father. So I will say this, and this will be like my last thing with the movie, which was a fantastic movie, absolutely fantastic. I do want to ask you guys, but let me go to what I'm going to say, and then I'll ask you the question. But the sins of the father trope, which I thought was, because it wasn't only for him, it was also for, I guess let's not be too spoilery, right? But it wasn't just for Batman. And I loved that did carry over to another favorite character that I am in love with right now, from the movie. I thought it was such a great movie. One thing I do want to ask you guys is, how does this lay for you guys in the realm of the Batman movies? Like all of the other ones that you have seen, is this top? Is this the best one? Is he the best Batman, but not the best Bruce Wayne? Is he the best of both? Like, where does that lay for you guys?
It's hard because I really like the Dark Knight series.
The Dark Knight series is great. If you can mix the Dark Knight, like the detective, because he was detective Batman, I would say. So he's like in a different version.
Sure.
Yeah, and this one he's more detective.
He knew all the riddles. Yeah. Remember the thumb drive riddle? That was pretty good.
That was a funny joke.
We were the only ones that got it. I got that immediately.
Riddler kept saying certain things. He was like, "Oh, what does a liar do when he's dead?" And I said, "Still lies." And then they said, "Lies still." I said, "I technically got it right." I just
y'all was making fun of me with eat my popcorn, saying, "But you solve his whole riddles in the crowd."
Well, he did the next one. He did the next one after that, and then he guessed that one right. I was like, "Yeah, we smart."
I was like, yeah, we smart, man. I could have wrote this, but I've been writing in the writer's room with him. But not like but the fact that it's like really Detective Batman and the duality, like I said before, it puts it in a different realm, because I think like the Christopher Nolan, Dark Knight like trilogy was like, okay, this Batman is like, was he just beginning too? I can't remember if he was just beginning or not.
Because the first one, because there was Dark Knight and then Dark Knight Rises, but the first one, Batman Begins, I believe.
Yeah, that
was his origin story.
Oh wow, what the hell? He was pretty advanced for his first time out. My God.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It seems more. I don't know. It seems more grounded in the Batman story for the new one. I
feel like it was more real. This movie was way more real.
Especially like the arc. Like I ain't gonna lie, Gotham and Batman Begins just looked like freaking Chicago, or it didn't look like, oh, this is a bad place to live at. I'm like, what is so bad about this place? Like it looked like any regular major city. Like what the hell? Like. But Gotham, the other place looked like Gotham. It looked like actually like, oh yeah, this place got dust, dirt. Old dude was just
trash,
right. Old dude was just chilling on the train and then gets jumped. It's like, what the hell? Like what? No, like I wouldn't want to live in this city.
When I saw the train, I was like, it smells like dirty toilet water in there. It really. When I looked at it, I was like, I would just keep I would wear my mask. And spray perfume on the outside. So that's all I'm breathing in because I know that it stank on that train for sure. For me, I feel like I would have to rewatch the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. But it might be contender for one of the best Batman movies that
for sure
I feel as a whole, definitely better than Batman Rises, which was Dark Knight Rises, which was one of my favorites. Dark Knight Rises was one of my favorites, but I know it was globally hated, but I loved Dark Knight Rises.
I'm kind of torn because I'm like, I love Dark Knight Rises, but I think I like it more so because of the way that Joker was in that. Like, because that version of Joker was like one of my favorites ever, hands down. And I felt like the villains kind of except for Bane. Bane was done not the best.
You really live in the dark. I was born in it.
They should have
gave him his Spanish accent.
That makes you have power over me.
They took away his Spanish accent. That's what
right. They should have kept his accent. It would even hit harder if he was like, "You were merely born." Right.
Yo, who are you? I was like,
if he was like, "You were merely born in the dark," like I would have been like, "Oh, okay,
that would be more menacing too." So that's why I was just like, I don't know about Bane, but the rest of it was cool. So
I think they would have had to go with a whole different actor then, because they having a white man do like a Spanish accent. I know they probably would have started.
No, that's my point. They could have casted somebody that was Hispanic.
Somebody else,
Bane.
True. He's in the mask the whole time. No, I'm not gonna lie.
That's true.
That is wrestler. Like, come on.
Like,
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
We'll probably get him later on. I want them to continue in this universe though. This is a very good start as far as Batman goes for the future movies. I think they're going to get greenlit for it too. I think it made 134 million this weekend.
Damn.
So, that's great.
Yeah. Post-pandemic numbers too. That's pretty great. So
that is.
Yeah.
They better not murk it up by having another like Batman universe movie. Like in these other movies, maybe just don't show Batman. If you're not going to have this Batman in it, don't mess it up, because I feel like if they have another Batman, right, in one of those other movies, and one of those other movies tank, then it's going to be harder for them to make a sequel to this if they decide to, because people are going to continue to lose faith in their ability to make a Batman movie. Or make Batman.
Just let this be like the last Batman iteration, because we've seen a whole bunch.
We have seen him a lot.
Get us like a trilogy or whatever you're gonna do.
Movie. Give us,
and then take a break. Take a few years break. Make us want it again. Make us like we got our fatigue.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But that was our review on Batman, right? And of course, we would love to dive in even more and like go to a full breakdown, but we do have to, except for Charlie. Okay, obviously, except for Charlie.